In today's video, we're going to be talking about contingencies. This is extremely important if you're a buyer or a seller to understand what contingencies are and who is controlling them. Let's get right to the video. So, our first contingency that we're going to talk about is controlled by the lender. Now, the lender in Virginia has three specific contingencies that they're looking at. Appraisal, which is obviously having an appraiser come out and check square footage, check condition of the property, and establish value. A lot of the appraiser's work is done via computer, picking comps that meet the criteria that they're looking for, as well as what type of financing it is, because depending on the type of financing, the appraiser has different guidelines that they have to go by. The second thing that the lender is looking at is called a termite moisture inspection. That's called an MPMA 33 document. That needs to be clear, free and clear of standing water, moisture, damage in the crawl space due to water or insects, as well as any existing insect infestation. Termite moisture inspection is the second contingency that has to be jumped through, required by the lender. And the third is well and septic. Well and septic, if you are on city water, city sewer, you don't need to worry about that. But if you're a seller who has a property on well and septic, that's going to be a separate inspection that is required by the lender. And as a buyer, you don't have any control over that. That's a mandatory inspection if you are doing financing. So that's our first hoop to jump through, is the lender required inspections to remove those contingencies. The next one we're going to talk about is a state required contingency. State required contingencies in our area are condo documents, HOA documents, POA documents. It's mandatory that in Virginia, a buyer has 3 days to review those documents. During those 3 days, the buyer has the ability to walk away from the deal and doesn't have to give an explanation why. They can just say unacceptable documents. So sellers, just because all of the buyer contingencies have been removed and the lender contingencies have been removed, this contingency required by the state usually doesn't happen until really later in the transaction, because that's when the docs are available. Seller, you are usually responsible for ordering those documents and paying for those documents. And as I said, it is mandatory. You cannot waive this contingency as a buyer. It's mandated by the state that the buyer has 3 days to review these documents to remove the state required contingency. The last contingency we're going to talk about today is the buyer control contingency. Why is this so important? Because the buyer controls it. The buyer has the ability to ask for the contingency or not ask for the contingency. Asking for the contingency may weaken your position on your offer. And if that's the case, you might not get the transaction, you might not get the contract, because someone else who maybe offered the same amount of money or less but didn't ask for this contingency got the deal. So there's a couple of different types of contingencies that buyers can ask for. Probably the one we see the most is certainly financing. If you're financing it, that's a contingency. It's contingent upon you getting the loan. And there are hoops that you have to jump through as a buyer to get that financing. The second one is certainly property inspection. This is where you would hire a home inspector to come out and inspect all of the property or certain aspects of the property, just the HVAC system, just the in-ground pool, just the roof, or the whole property, as I said. Based upon that inspection and the report, you have the ability to walk away from the deal. A lot of buyers in today's market are putting in there for informational purposes only, but they're still allowing the ability for you to walk, which makes it a true contingency. If the buyer can walk away from the deal based upon information that they gain, that's a contingency. One of the other ones that we see a lot is first right of refusal. This is where a buyer has to sell real property to be able to buy the new property. Depending on how the verbiage is written into the offer and into the ratified contract, That gives the seller the opportunity to continue to market the property, and they can enforce the first right of refusal. Goes into a little bit more detail. You need to get with your realtor and make sure that they know what they're talking about, as well as you, the seller. Make sure that your agent knows what they're talking about when it comes to contingencies that are controlled by the buyer. I hope you found this information helpful. It's designed to just make you a more educated buyer and a more educated seller so that you know what's going on in the market and you're not hearing it for the first time. So make it a great day. My name is Doug Wolf. We have a couple of other videos you can check out right above me. Market updates specific to sellers, specific to buyers, as well as I do a market update for Virginia Beach, Norfolk, and Chesapeake every single month. So check us out. Please subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you get to see all the things that I'm bringing to the table for you. I've been selling real estate for over 25 years here in Hampton Roads, and I love educating buyers and sellers. Make it a great day. Check us out.
Are you tired of paying high commissions when selling your home? With RedefyFlatFee.com, you have the option of paying a flat fee instead. Located in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, we offer 100% full-service realtor firm services at a fraction of the cost. Save your equity, save your money with RedefyFlatFee.com. Visit our website today to see how much you can save by using a flat fee real estate company. Take control of your home sale and start saving now.